Hey, good morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. Yes, my blurb says a powerful storm just to our west. Now, remember, that's important. When a storm center, which is the center of the whirling part of a storm system, pulls up to our west, we get mostly into the warm side of the storm, at least for the first half. And then we get on the cold side for the second half, and usually the second half is limited amounts of moisture. So that's what we're going to see in this one. But I do want to warn you that out in the Pacific, I see 3 or 4 storms, solid storms lined up. We're deeper into the cold next week, and that means I think we're going to wind up with a stormy pattern as we head toward 21st to Christmas Day, or that 10-day period or so. Hey, good morning, Sabrina Van Dyke. Good morning, Levon Caraba. And good morning, Linda Thompson. Thanks for joining us. Rick Beers, or Bears, maybe it is. All right, so here's the powerful storm system. Kind of look, let's see. There we go. See the circulation center out there in Kansas? That's the center of the storm. So that's why I say we will be on the warm side of the storm. And as a result, when you look at all of the warnings and watches across the Great Lakes region, winter storm watch in effect for the western part of the UP for getting in on the cold side, the backside of that storm system. But the winter storm warnings and the blizzard warnings are way off to the west, and nothing as far as an advisory expected really for lower Michigan. All right, let's look at what's going to happen out into the long term. And here we go. European model, mostly because it's pretty consistent. It's not right on all the time, but it's pretty close. Hey, good morning, Susan Pretzer from Saginaw Township. If you could hit the share button, would appreciate it very much. Like Ed Johnson, thank you very much, Ed. Okay, so today's dry. And now we're into tomorrow morning and afternoon. So we're going to start to get a few light rain showers on the west side of the state. I'll show it to you a little closer. We're looking at the big picture here and out into next week. Now we're at Wednesday evening, still rain holding off on a southeast wind over most of eastern Michigan. And then Wednesday night, Thursday morning, you wake up, many spots to showery. With maybe a little mix in the north. We'll show that to you in a second. Thursday is a mild day, but the cold front comes through, and then the temperatures start to drop late in the day. We actually get into what's called the dry slot right there. That's Friday morning, so we're colder, but we're in the dry slot between the rain with the cold front ahead of us and the wraparound snow behind us. And that's Friday. And then the lake effect will develop on the west side of the state. It looks as far as lake effect goes, it doesn't look super heavy and robust, but it will cause some snowy roads from US 131 westward, it looks like. And then as we go into Saturday, a little more favorable pattern for some widespread lake effect snow, again on the western half of lower Michigan and of course across the UP. That lasts into Sunday morning before it breaks down. Next storm system in 2 pieces now. So it looks weaker, but it would be snowfall for the most part. And then we're getting into next Wednesday, and the colder air is starting to come down. And now we're getting toward the end of our run next Thursday, but look at what's happening. We're starting to see a storm system. That's 10 days out, so I wouldn't believe the placement, but I would believe the fact that with the storm systems out in the Pacific, we have something coming our way in the middle part of next week. And at the moment, it looks like the cold air has nudged southward so much that we would be finally on the cold side of a storm system, and that would make a widespread snow sometime before Christmas or around Christmas. So you're going to want to watch it with me if you have to do some traveling. All right, a little closer of a look here for you. Wednesday afternoon, some showers starting up, and then Wednesday night, Thursday morning, maybe a brief 1 or 2 hour period of freezing rain, northern part of lower Michigan, but otherwise it's rain for all of us in southern Michigan. And then again, as we get into Friday afternoon, the lake effect snows develop, and then into Saturday and Sunday, some lake effect snows. How much precipitation in the liquid form? We're looking at a 1/2 inch to 3/4 in most places. So this is going to be a pretty solid December rain, and we can certainly always use that. That's great weather for our evergreens. If you've planted some on the landscape, those die in the winter because they dry out. They're giving off moisture, but they're not getting any in. So these December rains are great for the evergreens. Now, how much snowfall? So this is up through Friday, Thursday evening. And remember, some of that snow in northern Michigan is brief. It's a couple of inches, and then it melts off. Rick Brandt, good morning. Leaving for Florida in the next couple of days. What can I expect? All right, we'll jump back to that because I know a lot of people are. So just hang tight here, Rick, and we'll get to that here for you. And then we go into the weekend and add on a few more inches on the west side of the state. And then we wait until that storm system approaches. But again, 10 days out, so I wouldn't believe it totally. So we're in the mid to upper 30s today. Wednesday, we're in the upper 30s to near 40. Thursday morning, we're in the 40s in a lot of places. Friday, we're in the mid to upper 30s. Saturday, 29. Sunday, mid 30s. Monday, mid 30s. Tuesday, mid to upper 30s. And then Wednesday and Thursday of next week, the cold air finally starts to settle in. And the Climate Prediction Center mentions that too. 6 to 10 day forecast, colder than normal. 8 to 14 days centered on us, colder than normal right there. 3 to 4 week forecast, they are trying to indicate that active series of storms off in the Pacific will be starting to head through the Ohio Valley around the Christmas week and maybe the first week or so. Colleen Brewer, will Montrose get ice? No, you will not. Tony McGurr needs sunshine. No, this isn't something that happens instantly. All right, now we're going to go back for, who was it? Rick Brandt. Okay, traveling to Florida in the next couple of days. Now, tomorrow would be, although you have severe thunderstorms possible, tomorrow would be all rain. Thursday might be the time to sneak away because you're in the dry slot. You're getting into the colder air, but that's Thursday afternoon right there. And the cold front is raced to the east coast, and it leaves you in a cold, dry slot on your drive all the way to the southeast. So hopefully that helps you out. So a lot of weather going on, mostly rain in southern lower Michigan, southern half, southern 2/3 of lower Michigan. That comes in late Wednesday, especially Thursday morning. Then we start to turn colder, change over to snow showers, accumulating on the west side of the state, not accumulating on the east side. But then we continue to stair step down into some deep winter weather that looks like it will change our pattern dramatically around Christmas week. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. See you back here tomorrow. Bye.